Hey guys, hope you're doing well. Wanted to show you a new product that I just got in from the US today. It's called the Press Monitor 2 and it's made from a company called SA Developments. And they're in the US and what they have developed here is quite amazing. This little unit, once it's plugged in and the sensors are actually hooked up to your XL650 or whatever reloading unit that you use, this thing actually monitors everything and lets you know if you're doing the correct thing, and definitely lets you know if you're doing the wrong thing. If you actually skip a step or you miss a step, it actually beeps and then it lets you know what you've done wrong and then you can correct it. So this thing's really cool. I'm going to hook it up and show you guys how it works. So right from unboxing, I'll show you all the stuff that it comes with and how to hook it up to an XL650, which I have right behind me here. Okay, so let's get at it. So when you open your box, this is basically all the stuff that comes with it. You have the unit itself back here. I'll just make a quick note that I have painted this. The unit came in black, but I wanted to match my Dillon room here, so I've painted it blue. Okay, so yours will be black. It comes with the unit, the wires, the power supply, some heat shrink tubing, which I'll show you later how it works when you're connecting the switches. Comes with 3 switches, 3M tape, and your LED light. Okay, so that's everything in the package. One small thing which I'll make a note here, I've welded on a small spring right here to this switch. Well, I'll show you, it's the one that sits underneath the shell plate, and I've just made a modification to it. I just want to show you here really quickly. What I've done is just made a quick schematic so that I have something to work off of here on the workbench. Basically, orange, blue, green are the colors of the wires that are in the provided cable. This is basically a Cat 5, and basically the brown one here is not a sensor. These 3 here, the green, the orange, and the blue, are sensors. The brown one's for the LED light. So I'm just going to put that one aside, and I'm going to work with the 3 here to start with, and I'm going to hook up my 3 sensors here. Just take your switch, and as long as it's up like this, then you can tell you know, it's the same here. So this is terminal 1 and this is terminal 3. These are the 2 that you'll be using. This one here on the end you don't need. So it's easy. The first one is the wire that has the white with it. The white, as you can see here on the wire, so this is the orange one. There's an orange and there is a, which is solid, and then there's an orange and white one. Orange and white, which is we call the stripe, is the ground. So that is always on 1. You're going to attach the first terminal with the striped wire and the solid in the center. Okay? So just a quick note here, what I've done is I've went out and purchased more of these heat shrink tubes because I want to basically hide a lot of the wiring. So I'm going to put this down here at the bottom like this. I'm going to slip it on here, and then I'm going to do the terminals on their own. So I'm going to go ahead and do that because it's hard to kind of show you on camera here as I'm doing it. So I'm going to go ahead, slip on 2 of these, 1 on each wire. So 1 on this one, 1 on this one. And then I'm going to hook it up to the switch, which all you do is you take the wire, you bend it like this and twist it, make a little hook, take your switch, put it in like that, and it kind of just hooks right in like this, and then just fold it. So basically that's what you're going to be doing. And then what happens is when your little slip tube is on here, it actually will slip up right over top of the thing, and then using a heat gun you will just heat the area here, and you'll see that it will shrink right on. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and show you the picture after I'm done here. Basically that's what the finished product looks like. You've got the 2 terminals here with the small pieces coming out, and then it V's into 1 single wire, which I've added the extra hosing that I've got from a hardware store just to give it a nice clean look. But basically that's how your switch should look. Okay guys, so when you're all done, this is what it should look like. You should have 3 switches that have all the black already done on them like this, and your brown wire, which is for your LED light. Okay, just a couple quick things on the right side of the machine, the side with the handle. Take your handle down, all the way down, and take out the spent primer chute. We won't need that right now. We're going to have to get in there. And also, if you've got your bin on there, just take your bin off. Okay, the reason the handle's all the way down is because your first sensor is going to go here for handle down, okay? So what you're going to do is put the 3M tape here on the back and then stick it right there. And just use the metal here as a guide when you're actually pasting it on, okay? And basically there you go. And you can see how the handle just, you can actually hear the switch going. Now it recommends in the manual that you don't touch these switches for 72 hours. What I've done as a little trick is I've just used painter's tape just to tape down the switch. After you've put it on, I've just taped it over, taped the wire, that way nothing moves, and then 2 or 3 days from now I'll come and I'll peel the tape off. So you remember the handle down position, which was the orange one down here, I just covered it with tape. So switch 2 is right beside it. And what happens is the shell plate comes down and touches that spring. And the way mine's working, I'll show you in a close-up. The spring gets touched as it comes down, but then the metal thing from the switch actually touches here, and the spring is what gives it a bit of the spring action there, which you'll see. I'll show you a close-up. So here's a better angle for you. Now watch when the shell plate comes down. See, it just touches right now. And that makes contact with the switch right there. So when it's all the way down in the resting position, it actually is depressing the actual switch. And then when you prime, you have to go more, and that's what the spring's for. You can kind of see, and it doesn't move the switch, see? Just the spring moves. So there's a precise spot, you'll have to figure it out, it's hard to show on video, but you'll have to play around with it until you hit it. But it works perfectly. So on the opposite side of your machine now, not where the handle is, but where your bullet tray usually is, you'll have to take this down. Okay? Because the third sensor, which is the priming sensor, will be going right here. And I'll show you a close-up of that. So there you can see the switch. It's right on that post, right by the shell plate. And then when you go to prime, you can hear it. It actually clicks. And if you want to adjust it, you can bend the tab up or down to adjust it. So one quick note, guys, I'm not going to be using the light that comes with the kit, because I've got this nice light here which is pretty bright and it lights up my whole area. So, but it shows you in the manual how to hook this up. It's just 2 wires, 1 on each side. Okay? Well, once you've done all 3 sensors, you've pretty much done the hard part. Mount your unit wherever you want. I've put mine on my pole here. And basically plug in your power supply, and the last step is put in your Ethernet cable. And then turn it on. And basically if your machine's in the rest position, when it comes on, it's going to be the first stage, which it's saying that now, is pull handle down. Now the cool thing about this one, the feature is the priming feature on it. And basically, when you go to prime, watch this. See, it says prime. And you can prime as many times as you want, because people like to make sure they get it right in there. So you can prime it as much as you want. It won't beep on you, it won't do anything. But the next step after you prime is pull the handle down. So we're going to go ahead and pull it down. And then once it's down all the way to the bottom, it's saying pull it back up and prime. So we're going to go back up, and then you have to prime. Prime. Now pull the handle down. You can see how it changes. And keep on going. As long as you're reloading, doing everything properly, it just keeps track. And now you saw, as it went around 4 times, now your first cartridge would actually be ready to eject. So the round says 0. So now, when I go, see 1 round. So that would have been 1 round actually made, a made round. Just keep going. Just follow the steps. Now what happens is, if we actually make a mistake, let's see what happens. So it's telling me to prime, but I'm not going to prime. I'm just going to pull it down. See? No priming stations, check all stations. I'm just going to ignore, stop the beeping, pull handle up and prime. So it's asking us to go back up and make sure that we prime. Okay, and then continue. Okay, let's try and trick it a different way now. What we're going to do now is it's saying pull down, go down, and it's saying up and prime. Okay, we're not going to pull down all the way. I'm just going to go halfway, not all the way down, but then I'm going to go back up now. Short stroke all stations. So it knows that I didn't go down all the way. So let's try and trick it now and see if it doesn't go all the way up if it sees it. So it's saying pull handle down, pull handle up, and prime. Okay, this time we're not going to go all the way up. So all the way down, not all the way up, I'm going to go down. Bad sequence. So it knows that we didn't go all the way up. Now the really cool thing about this machine is that it's a round counter, so it counts how many rounds you make. But there's a plus and minus here, so right now we say we're at 9 rounds and we screwed up there and we had to fix something. We can see how many we've done. We can actually go up or down by pushing plus or minus here. So it's fully adjustable. Obviously in the menu, this thing's got a lot of stuff in it. It tells you how many rounds you do per hour. It tells you when you need to maintenance the machine. You can select what machine you have, the 550, the 650. This thing's got a lot of stuff. I'm not going to go through on the video here, but basically everything's online and on the PDF file, which is the manual online on their website. So I'm very impressed. I'm just so glad that I got to hook this up. I've been waiting for this thing for a while and finally got it, so I'm happy. And hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you soon.